And welcome into the Paul Farrington Show, reacting to Week 11 of the NFL season. Already, Week 11 is over. We are just soaring through it. It is going real quick. There have been better weeks, I will say. There have been better weeks. Paul Farrington joined alongside Jack Weinberger. Zach Bloomquist, the best producer in the game, is with us here. Robert Ziggy Ziegler at the University of Virginia, off in Zoomland. Let's clap it up for Zach's uncles are here today. Uncle Matt and Uncle Mike. They're joining us. We have a live studio audience for the first time in a while.
I feed off of live audiences.
I know.
I will feed off this live audience.
The Jack energy is unbelievable right now. It's radiating.
And it's Thanksgiving week.
I'm happy to be here. Psyched.
Yep, best time of year right now. Andrew is off coaching. I believe it's tryouts right now, right?
Yeah, my brother, intern Jeff.
Yep. Do we have any intel as to how Jeffrey's playing?
I do. Don't really want to announce it right now.
Do you have any intel as to what music they're playing?
He's playing well. He's playing well.
Yeah, is Andrew playing Frozen? Do we know?
He's playing 1,000 Miles.
I can't confirm. I can't confirm.
Okay. Secrets within the Northern Highlands JV team. Was he JV?
Freshman.
Okay.
Freshman.
Okay.
Well, you never know. Maybe JV. I'm not sure, though. I don't have much of a say.
There were a lot of NFL games this weekend. Some were good, some were bad. We'll start off with one that was so bad CBS decided to remove it midway through the third quarter or fourth quarter. I don't know. I wasn't watching. The Vikings lose 40-3 to the Cowboys. I seriously think that this game was the closest I've seen to death on a football field since Myles Garrett swung his helmet at Mason Rudolph. It was a tough watch from start to finish. And a day that I would like to forget quite soon. Jack, you think the Vikings stink, you said?
No, I was messing around.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
It's just, but you know what it is, Paul? Like, it's just that's so humiliating to be at home.
Oh, yeah.
And to, like, if you're on the road, we see this often. A handful of teams can go on the road and get blown out. Okay, tough game. It is what it is. We see it. But at home, and look what's happened to Minnesota against the other two contenders in the NFC, Dallas and Philadelphia.
I know.
They've been absolutely marked. Yeah. It's a red flag. It's a cause for concern.
Yeah, and 40-3, I think, really undersells how bad this was. This was a pick your own numbers game for the Cowboys. You know, Dak finished with 275 yards passing. It could have been 400 if he wanted. Like, the Cowboys just decided to let up in the middle of the third, and that was that.
They could have scored 70 points if they wanted.
My Cooper Rush take, by the way, being the Cowboys, QB1 was the worst take of all time, and I'm one to admit that.
Cowboys went from one of the worst offenses in the league to immediately the best.
You know what I'd say though is, the show previous this weekend, I was really gassing up the Vikings. I mean, maybe,
I told you not to, Paul. I told you not to.
Isn't it crazy how the second that I buy in, within 5 days of me buying in, they lose probably the worst game of the NFL season.
I mean, I bought in too.
I mean, it was that bad.
I bought in too.
But within days, like, you get humbled so quickly as a Viking fan that the moment you believe,
it's sobering.
You just get your ass handed to you. I will say though, with as bad as the Cowboy game was, I'm really not too concerned. My view of the Vikings doesn't change all too much. I think that they're absolutely still one of the contenders in the NFC. If you say, are the Vikings no longer a top 5 team? Like, who's above them? It's probably San Francisco, the Eagles, the Cowboys, and who am I forgetting?
In the NFC?
Yeah, you have the Eagles, Cowboys, San Francisco. And really, the Vikings could be
being
right
the fourth team in your conference is not exactly something to brag about.
That's still a contender for the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, they're still division winner.
They're going to win the division. They're probably going to be a 2 or 3 seed, depending on where San Francisco and Seattle go. So my concern for the Vikings is it's a blip in the road. Obviously not good, but it's not like we haven't seen teams get dominated before and then go on to win a Super Bowl.
The home field's concerning as hell there in that spot, though.
Oh, yeah, that is concerning.
And when that happens, usually there's some extenuating circumstance. Like, when you look at Super Bowl winners, they got blown out by this. You can go back to, the 2003 Patriots when they lost 31-0 against Buffalo. But that was the first week of the season. You can look at, that terrible 2020 Bucks loss 38-3 against the Saints. But, that was Tom Brady was new in town. They were figuring things out. You can look at the 2018 Eagles, but that was one of the most improbable Super Bowl runs in NFL history.
But Ziggy, that's part of it. It's part of going on a Super Bowl run is that you just need to get hot at the right time. Look at the Bengals last year. Your team, the Bengals. Who would have picked them in the beginning of the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl? You just need to have a couple games go your way and be playing at a high level. The Giants the
I
07
don't
Giants.
see the magic, Paul. I do not see the magic.
Well, you
on
can't
this
you can't
team.
see the magic coming. It just happens.
No,
also-
but Paul, you knew that Joe Burrow was capable of something special. You knew there was something brewing in Philadelphia. Do you really think?
No,
like
you
Kirk,
didn't. Philadelphia,
Kirk
they had Nick
Cousins-
Foles. Nick Foles had 3 or 4 of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play. They should have lost to Atlanta. And then, it's fitting against the Vikings. He just decides to become like freaking Joe Montana and throw for 500 yards.
It seemed like a game where it's like, Minnesota come from behind win in Washington. Good win. Kirk's got the chains out. They're balling. It was great. Come from behind in Buffalo.
Even better.
Down by 17 points. Even better. Like, everyone's talking Minnesota. Laid an egg.
But with the Vikings, a lot of Vikings fans actually. So if you're a true Vikings fan, you saw this coming. Maybe not 40-3, but you could have seen a loss coming. I think they're fine.
Look, they were a home dog too, and I'm like, you know what? I got to take Minnesota.
Yeah,
How are they home dog?
that's how they get you. That's how they get you.
I didn't take them. I'm like, this has got to be some sort of trap. And they scored
It was.
3 points.
Yeah, it was a trap. It was a huge trap.
Yeah, I mean,
Stunning.
look,
Stunning.
If you believe in the Vikings, here's what you should want to see from them. I'd like to see them win more than one game.
It's a slap in the
week one
face.
of the season by more than one score. That's all I'm asking. Just win a game by 10 points.
They need to come out on
Minnesota can't do
Thursday
it.
and they need to push around New England.
I
which
think-
is hard to do.
I think this wakes them
New
up.
England's a hard team to push around, but they need to really show up.
I think this wakes them up.
I hope so.
I really do.
Dallas.
think they're
We'll
fine.
real quickly touch on Dallas. Do you think that they're now would you say a top 3 contender in the NFC?
Depending on if they get the division. I don't like going on the road in the playoffs to anybody,
Okay.
regardless of who it is. So if they win the NFC East, I'd say they're probably the favorite. But if Philly wins that NFC East, then I'd probably take 3 or 4 teams over Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, Dallas has to be happy seeing the Eagles starting to slip. I think there's a lot to look forward to in this team. I mean, here's the thing. When you've got a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, you can do anything. Dallas seems to have both those things.
Yeah.
I actually believe in this team. And honestly, winning against a contender 40-3 on the road is not something many teams can do.
I believe that this Dallas team has the talent to go on a Super Bowl run, but just year after year, we see the same thing with them where they get to the playoffs. A lot of times it's at home too, and they just wind up laying a goose egg. They'll probably lose to San Francisco. If I had to put money on it right now.
If Dallas goes on the road to San Fran in the playoffs, I don't think they win that game.
Yeah.
But if they win the NFC East, get a number 1 seed, I think they're probably my favorite to go to the Super Bowl.
I just love how a week ago I'm sitting here and I'm going like, oh, all right, Philadelphia loses to Indianapolis. The Vikings can have the 1 seed. And now, I talked to my dad about home field advantage today. He's like, Paul, it doesn't matter with us, man. Like anyone can go in there and spank us.
Not in the playoffs. Playoffs is different.
Playoffs, I
Playoffs
still
is
want it. I
different.
still want it.
You know what's funny too? I'll bring this up quickly. When that Vikings and Cowboys game was booted off national TV.
That was horrible. That's so bad.
It became the Steelers Bengals, and the second I throw it on, T. Higgins is looking like Jerry Rice out there. So misery by you, misery by me.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Jack. I didn't watch this. The Vikings were down 37-3, and I said, I'm done. I'm done.
Were you
blame
wearing your jersey?
I was not.
You weren't. You were.
I
Oh,
was
that's right.
not.
You were on your way home.
I was in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I was upset.
Tough weekend for the whole crew.
Speaking of
really.
upset,
Well, not for me. I was living the high life.
hey, fins up, man.
Yeah.
I love
Fins
to.
up.
I
We were
think
on
I
the
think the
bottom. We were
Dolphins.
on the
I told you,
bottom.
third best team in the AFC, maybe second.
I was on him
Maybe
week
second.
1. I was on him with this first episode. We can go back and look at the tape.
But speaking of misery, I wish Andrew were here to say. Andrew is so upset that he didn't want to come on the show, which actually is a sign of a really bad sports media guy.
I look at we're 3-7. I'm sitting here loud and proud,
I
drinking
know.
a beer.
40-3.
And
40-3.
here,
Kicked off
hosting.
national television.
I
But
know, I know.
Andrew is like we said, he's running tryouts right now. But
Well, is he?
That
Is he?
Jet-
Yeah,
might
is
be.
he?
That
Is he?
Jets game. He sent us a text in the middle of it, and he just said, "This is the worst game I've ever seen in my life." Midway through third quarter, he said, "This game is terrible."
Yeah, I didn't see the score, and I checked it, and I saw it was 3-3.
Oh, it was stunning.
Oh my God,
And,
man.
I'm
I have a
sitting
quick
there.
question, though.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like everything all over media is how bad Zach Wilson played, but no one's talking about Mac Jones either.
Well, it's because they won.
It was like
Winning cures
Also,
everything.
Mac Jones played a heck of a lot better.
Wasn't Mac Jones? I thought I saw something that he was 23 for 27. Is that the
He's
right number?
23 for 27 and 250
I mean, Zach
yards.
Wilson was
But
what,
it was
9?
3 point. He had great stats, cool, but you had 3 points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, that Jets defense was all over the place. They were phenomenal all day
The
long.
Jets defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL. You can't say the same thing about the Patriots.
If you really want to be fair, if you really want to get into it, you could say oh, the wind was a factor. They missed a couple kicks. You still should score more than 3 points.
If it's the Jets returning a punt to win the game 10-3, I don't think many people are bashing.
Andrew's here.
Andrew's here. Andrew's here.
For one thing.
And I think Mac Jones is bashed and not Zach Wilson.
But Zach, I actually thought the worst thing with Zach Wilson wasn't exactly his performance on the field, but maybe how he handled himself afterwards.
No, his field performance is pretty bad. That's
a testament to just how bad he was at his press conference.
70 yards passing.
When he was asked by reporters and they said, Zach, like, do you feel that you and the offense let down the defense? Immediately says no, he didn't. No. And I'm watching that and I just think to myself, when you're the quarterback of a team, you get more money, you get more media attention, you're a leader automatically in the locker room. It's a little bit like Spider-Man to a degree. With great power comes great responsibility.
You gotta take leadership.
You need to be accountable. That's what everyone's saying with Zach Wilson right now. You need to be accountable. When Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, when these guys lose, they could have 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, but they get sacked on the final play of the game. The only thing Tom Brady's going to be talking about is, I need to step up in the pocket there and make the throw. That's on me.
When Mike White loses.
Yep. When Mike White loses, I actually don't remember what Mike White said.
No, what Mike White said was, I got to make sure we don't lose 2 in a row. I'm going to be hitting the film room tonight, doing better starts with me. Look, you don't have to believe it. This is the thing I think people don't understand is Zach Wilson, even if he doesn't believe it, just go out and say the facts. I had a bad day. I'm going to work on doing better next week.
It's being a leader. It's being a leader. And that's how you lose the locker room. And all the reports are coming out that right now the defense is pretty pissed off. And I would be too. If I held them to 3 points and Zach Wilson says, no, I don't owe the defense anything. I actually was sitting there watching the interview and I said out loud, like, how do you say that?
I don't know if that's what he meant.
It is. He doesn't think he's the problem.
I think where he was coming from. Why didn't he come out
today and correct it if it's not what he meant?
I think where he was coming from could be, and just, trying to back him up, is you win as a team, lose as a team.
But this was on.
He didn't say that.
Jack, tomorrow.
Some days we'll have your back. The offense will have defense's back.
On Saturday, if I throw 8 interceptions, 8, I know that I'm the bad quarterback in our Thanksgiving game.
You might throw more than 8.
If I throw 9 interceptions and we lose the game, and then after the game, I'm like, well, it was a team loss. I mean, you guys are going to look at me and be like, what the hell are you talking about? You were horrible.
All he said was, it's not my fault. I wasn't the problem.
No, he just said no.
They had 2 yards in the second half.
Were you the problem? No. So I wasn't the problem. Someone else was the problem.
No, that wasn't exactly. What was he asked?
They said, do you feel like you let the defense down today?
And
he said no.
So he was the problem and he didn't let him down. All right. The defense shouldn't be disappointed. I mean, look, you can see the difference with the Patriots, right? Or with the Jets, right? So go back to their last loss to the Patriots. Zach Wilson had a bad game. Coach Saul was out there. He's like, Wilson's our starter for the rest of the season. I believe in this kid. He's going to do great things of us. We just got to be a little patient. After this loss, he plays terribly. And now there's talk that Zach Wilson's going to get benched. The team's completely lost faith in him. He's not starting next year.
I'm taking my apology back, by the way, too. My public apology, which had, 2.5 thousand views?
More.
This guy stinks.
Yeah.
And if they had TJ Watt in that game...
The Jack slander is going to keep going. You said that you were sorry. You said Zach Wilson was bad.
Well, I'm taking it back. He's terrible. And if the Steelers had TJ Watt in that game, it's 20-10 final. He's on his butt, and the Steelers win that game.
You're probably right. I mean, you said before,
and I want that, and I want that as a real. And then wear that stupid Zach Wilson jersey again. I wipe my ass with that thing. I was ashamed.
I don't think he's very good either. I've been sitting here for weeks.
He's bad.
And Andrew keeps telling me, he says it's your fault. Or he says you're unfair to the Jets. I said, no, I'm very fair to the Jets. They have a great defense. Breece Hall was phenomenal when he played. Like their rushing attack has fallen off without him. But Zach Wilson is the problem. If Zach Wilson shows up at all, they beat New England and they're in a fine position to go to the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to get caught by Cincy, someone. Like Zach Wilson is the issue. He needs to go.
I don't think that. Look,
right now he's playing for his job. Every week now he's playing for his job.
I don't think the no what came out how it's being portrayed.
Oh, I thought
so. If it didn't, Jack, here's what you do. I'll tell you. I'm a PR guy. I'll tell you what you do. You come out today with a prepared statement. And you say, "Look, I misspoke. I miscommunicated. Obviously, I had a bad game. Obviously, I'm responsible. Like I had a bad game. I didn't play well. I'm going to work really hard to be better. The Jets deserve more." That's all. Like, why did he say that today? Answer, because he does not care. He does not give a rat's rear end how the Jets do. He cares about getting paid and having sex with people's moms. He just wants to go to more book clubs. That's all Zach Wilson's interested in at this point.
The only thing, and we could go on to the Giants in a second, but like Zach Wilson, to be fair, Still a very young guy. Obviously, you need to be a better leader by year 2 right now. But he still has abilities that a lot of quarterbacks don't. He can make certain throws that people can't. It's just I don't know if it's ever. No, I think he can. I think he has arm strength that a lot of quarterbacks don't.
I think most QBs can do what he can do better.
Oh, right now, I think there's potential for Zach Wilson, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, all right, if you don't finish this year strong, then you actually might not even finish this year.
I found this funny. I found this little offshore site, and they have odds available.
Oh boy. Okay.
They have odds available.
Okay, yeah. You never know. You never know with Jack.
Hey, Jack, I would be less worried about that bet. More
Zach Wilson walks into book club.
They have odds available for Giselle's next thing, and Zach Wilson's on there. He's plus 2,000.
That's
plus
disgusting.
2,000.
I think I'd hit that. I mean, Bradley Cooper's the favorite at 8 to 1.
Hit the bet?
I think I'd hit Zach Wilson at 20 to 1.
That's
moving on Giselle.
Look, Jack, all I'm saying is
AB on that list?
What's up?
Was AB on that list?
No, I didn't see AB. I saw Bradley Cooper.
Because you saw the drama with AB, right?
I saw the whole thing.
You saw the drama with AB?
She wouldn't. He's
Antonio
nuts.
Brown's an asshole.
Yeah, he's nuts. She wouldn't. You'd never. Although if it would look, Zach Wilson, I think Brady would kill him. Yeah, I think he'd kill him. Bradley Cooper, Tom Brady would be like, all right, Bradley Cooper, fine. Zach Wilson, no.
But Tom Brady could get whoever he wants.
Well, I know, but I don't care. He wouldn't want Zach Wilson moving in on his ex-wife.
I mean, Wilson might have experience avoiding.
I think he does.
All I'm saying is
Tom Brady will move on his mom.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
People will remember, Jack, that if the Jets pick top 10, then you don't have to dress up as a movie character like Mario or something.
That's already dead, I think.
There is hope for that now. It
I
did
don't
not
know.
look good last week.
I think it's already dead. You think they can pick top 10 still? They gotta lose out.
I think there's a chance the Jets lose out or only win one more game.
If they lose out, I got a shot.
I mean, the Jets have a tough schedule left.
I mean, they host the Bears. They're going to beat the Bears.
No. They'd probably beat the Bears.
The Bears have the better quarterback. Look, whenever you have the worst quarterback, there's a decent chance you lose the game.
Oh, they can lose to the Bears. There
is no game
it would be
season.
Pretty.
If they lose to the Bears, they can spiral.
Hey, wait. Let me ask. Where was Jack Weinberger on that odds list?
I was plus 35,000 and I sprinkled it.
Yeah. Just a tad.
Just a little bit. You were on there too, plus 45,000.
45.
Let's move on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get out of this.
Seems a little low to me.
Chicanery.
All right, Lions Giants. We have some Giants fans here. Michael is not here though. Had a creative vision. That's
I just want to put it out there. I called the Lions winning. I said that they couldn't. That the Giants wouldn't be able to score with them.
I mean,
when we did our picks,
and it didn't. And
I was lone wolfing that. I was lone wolfing that.
And the Lions scored more points. There you go.
Yeah,
I lone wolfed that one.
It was a good call. It was a good call. A lot of questions in the media world about the Giants right now surrounding Daniel Jones and his future with the team, which I think is a really stupid take from this weekend. Right now, look, he had a bad game. He's been pretty solid this season. What are you, 7-3? Obviously, he's not playing at a level where he's totally safe for next year. I'm not a big Daniel Jones believer, but if they're able to go on and make a playoff run, I'm pretty confident that he's going to be the starting quarterback at the start of next season. They might bring in somebody to push him, which I think would be a mistake if they didn't. But I'd be surprised if I saw the Giants making a move to go acquire a quarterback next year, unless they really fall in love with someone. This to me, Daniel Jones has been okay. He had a couple big mistakes this weekend, but overall, I think he's been. And what weapons does he have? That's the real question around the Giants. Who's he throwing to? Can you name 3 receivers on the Giants, Jack?
No, I can't.
I can.
Well, I know you can.
Wait, actually, I don't think I can name 3 because Wan'Dale Robinson
healthy receivers.
ACL, right? Yeah.
The only Richie ones James, I can name. Darius Slayton, and Kenny Galladay, who, oh my God, I mean, we've talked about that contract before. So I just look at Daniel Jones and I say, this guy, I don't believe in him myself, but until the Giants really give him the weapons he needs around him at receiver, I think the Giants are going to keep him around.
I mean, anybody who is off the Giants train after this Lions loss I don't think it's justified.
Well, there shouldn't be a train.
You shouldn't have been on it in the first
train.
place.
They're 7-3.
This Giants team's not good.
They're an okay team.
Look,
the Giants had the easiest schedule in the league and played pretty poorly and got to 7-3. And now they're going to lose a bunch of games because they got the hardest schedule in the league. There's nothing to like here. This team's not good.
I'm not personally a Giants believer. You've a win against the Bears, the Panthers, the Texans. I agree.
Should have lost to the Titans.
But people who are
Should have lost to the Panthers.
people who are grilling them for losing to Detroit. Detroit's a team who they one possession lost to Seattle, Minnesota, Philadelphia, a team who's won 2 straight games coming in. This is a good team. It's not a 3-6 team. Detroit.
They're around there, but they're not.
If you're
they're
going to
not
say
there.
the Giants are a 7-3 team,
If you're somebody who
The
was
Giants are
on
three.
the New York Giants train and is now off it because of this loss, that's not justified.
The Giants have the toughest remaining.
Detroit's a
schedule
good team.
in football right now. Do you think? So here's what I'll ask you about the Giants. Do you think that Andrew's prediction comes true that they don't make the playoffs?
No, I'd say the Giants probably get the 6th or the 7th seed in the NFC.
Ziggy,
they're not going.
really?
I didn't think they were going before. I don't think they're going
but
now.
who do you see
They-
catching
But the
them?
NFC, who's outside of
I
San
think
Francisco,
Washington.
Minnesota?
I think so. Here's the thing: people are forgetting the Giants still have 2 games left against the Commanders.
You think the Commanders beat
I think
them
the
twice?
Commanders are going to win both and jump them. I
They're not gonna
honestly
beat them
think that's
twice.
what's going to happen.
Don't beat them twice.
They get Chase Young back soon.
Yeah, I'm looking at this here. I can't see. I see the Giants sneaking in the 6 or 7, probably losing first
The
round.
NFC.
I think the
Which is a
Giants
great
finish with
year
8
for the expectations. Any Giants fan at the start of the season would say, "I'll take a playoff spot." Any Giants fan would be
They would have
thrilled. I
taken
think they'd
8
be
wins,
surprised.
which is what they're going to get.
Yeah, duh.
Look, you have Minnesota, you have San Francisco, you have Dallas, you have Philly. Outside of those 4 teams, who would you put over the Giants?
Those 4. Say them
Yeah.
one more time: Philly, Minnesota,
Philly,
Dallas, San Francisco.
Minnesota, Dallas, San Francisco.
Probably Seattle could jump them,
But still, there's 7 spots.
but then still, they're
There's
still
7
in. That's why I
playoff
think they're
spots.
safe for now. I think they're okay.
The Commanders games are going to be what really matters.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's all division stuff now for the NFC East, and it'll be fun to see how that unfolds because I think the Eagles have 5 division games left. Like, there's a lot to go down in that division,
They play the Eagles twice still.
and people are kind of assuming Philly's just going to coast to the 1 seed, which right now, they're in
No.
good shape, but they have a lot of tough games remaining. That's gonna be fun.
If they can go, their game in Dallas is monumental
Yeah.
for that.
So again, it was a pretty crazy week 11 for us here. A very disappointing week 11 for us here.
Not in college though. Jack Cap, go Ducks!
Yes, well done. I was having a pretty bad weekend betting. I don't like to gamble too much, but I was down a little bit, and Jack gave me a call. He's like, "Hey, you'll win it all back right now." He
Quack, quack.
guaranteed it. He's
Quack, quack, quack.
But,
Quack, quack, quack.
So nice hit on the cap of the week, and unless either of you guys have something to say, I think we're good to wrap here.
Quack quack,
We've only
baby.
been going for 20 minutes. I don't know if you want to talk about.
All I've got to say is after this performance at the Continental Tires main event, I'm making the prediction now. UVA is winning it all this year. It's our year, baby.
I'm thinking Notre Dame gets hot.
Oh, I'm going to be at the Notre Dame UVA game cheering on my Cavaliers. So,
No, you're not.
I don't
I was
think
just
so.
Are you serious?
Ziggy,
You root for-
I was about to ask you, who'd you root for that game? UVA or Notre Dame?
Oh, I made a deal when I went to UVA. It's Notre Dame for football and Virginia for basketball.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I mean,
Well, these Tony Bennett teams are so much fun to watch.
He's a great singer.
He's got a great
He
voice,
really
yeah.
is. He's a phenomenal singer.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Ziggy-
Best there
Ziggy
is.
gets mad
Have you
when I say
actually
that.
heard Tony Bennett, the basketball coach, sing?
He looks like he'd have a good voice.
He's
looks-
actually pretty good.
He looks like he's better than the other Tony Bennett.
Yeah. All
I'm
right,
not
we'll
sure
wrap it up
that's-
there before we drone on much longer. Thanks for listening to the Week 11 recap show. I don't know if we're going to have a preview because of Thanksgiving week.
I mean, I'll be like 15 of these deep by 10 a.m. tomorrow, so we'll see. We'll see.
I think
So
that'll
we'll
be a
see.
perfect show.
Yeah,
show.
maybe you'll get a very sloppy Week 12 preview. But until then, thanks
With
for
some
listening.
special guests, perhaps.
Remember to subscribe, to follow along everything, and yeah, we'll clap it up for the
live
in-studio
studio
audience one more time. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you soon.